Britt is recognized from Alabama. Welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So countless Americans confidentially participate in our financial system and markets every day. They're informed of the risk associated with the decisions they make, and they choose what they want to pursue. For example, whether it's stocks or bonds, or whether we're talking about mutual funds or traditional savings accounts. However, what we've seen now is that our current laws and regulations do not speak to the recent innovations within our financial sector. And in fact, Congress has a responsibility to act, to establish rules of the road to ensure robust transparency and protection for consumers and investors. However, we have seen this past year alone show the consequences of what happens when Congress fails to do that. My question is for Ms. Jeng. Just like the rest of the financial sector, we must ensure that appropriate common sense guardrails are in place so consumers have transparency in the digital asset space. I've heard you talk about these common sense guardrails. You've mentioned protecting consumers, their rights, and empowering them. Can you tell me from your perspective what Congress needs to keep in mind while developing these types of guardrails?
Thank you, Senator, for this opportunity to expound upon what I think are key foundational building blocks that Congress needs to consider. Consumer and investor protection, that is crucial, and having clear legal rights in the property that they purchase. When part of the problem with the bankruptcies is that the bankruptcy court had really nothing to work with in terms of legal rights. And so here's an opportunity for Congress to make very clear that when consumers purchase digital assets, that they have a property right in that digital asset. And then that will be respected in a bankruptcy proceeding. The other really important concern to keep in mind is that this kind of technology is about democratizing financial services. And that means when I, for example, moved back to the US from Europe, I had to pay $4,000 to my European bank to move my own savings back to the US. And then I also had no profit from the spread the bank made when it converted from Swiss francs to US dollars. This is the type of opportunity that blockchain technology can help with. I look forward to that day when I'll be able to transfer money cross-border to myself and actually also make part of that profit in the spread. And that kind of equitable interest in financial services is what makes Web3 different from, say, Web2. And so we have to think about how can we empower consumers, give them consumer data rights, while also protecting them through disclosures and legal protections in bankruptcy.
Well, staying on that same line of thought of empowering consumers, I was struck in your testimony here about who the actual purchasers of digital assets are. You have here 55% do not have a college degree, 44% of crypto traders are not white, 41% of traders are women. And knowing that, do you believe that if we put in proper guidelines and guardrails, that there's an opportunity for more people across this nation to achieve the American dream through the use of digital assets?
Currently in the US, 4% are unbanked, 14% are underbanked. I think that's a huge amount for a country as rich and advanced as ours. They feel that they are excluded from the traditional financial system. Here's an opportunity where we can lower the costs and improve access to financial services.
And as we work to do that, there is a lot of talk about overregulation, stifling the market, essentially taking jobs and innovation and offshoring them to places like China, to our adversaries. Do you share that line of thinking that if common sense guardrails move to overregulation, that we may do just that?
Regulatory uncertainty causes market uncertainty. And when the market is uncertain, they will go to where there is regulatory clarity. So if there are other countries with clear frameworks, that is where they're going to head. or they'll go into shadow banking sector where our regulators would have very little insight and oversight. And so regardless, either way, we'll end up bifurcating our U.S. financial system in ways that will have unintended consequences. A bifurcated system would in fact be part traditional banking and then one part that is in the shadows, if that's where crypto is going. I don't think that would help with our leadership in digital innovation. If anything, this will actually just drive our innovation to other countries that very much want to be the leadership in this space. And they're actually quite jealous of our ability right now of being the leader in coming up with the most innovative products and services in crypto.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you, Senator Britt.